I'm a geneticist and my husband's an organic farmer. Many of our friends and family have asked us about organic production and genetic engineering, whether genetically engineered crops are safe to eat and safe for the environment. And they've asked us why organic production is such a small part of our agriculture. And so we really wrote the book in response to those questions. So what we try to do in the book is really focus on the issues of sustainable agriculture. And we start out by describing a set of criteria for sustainable agriculture, the importance of reducing toxic inputs and the importance of using less land and less water, the importance of having viable economic farms, nutritious food, and feeding the poor and malnourished. And so then we discuss different farming practices and plant breeding tools that can possibly contribute to sustainable agriculture. Many farmers do practice many sustainable approaches, but there are still many farm systems that have incredible yield losses due to pest and disease, or other farm systems that are using large amounts of insecticides or fertilizers. So we try to discuss ways that those farmers could improve the sustainability of their systems. Well, I think we already know there's a lot of things that we can do. There is, post-harvest issues of crop loss in less developed countries. But then there's also issues of farming practices, and in some places in Africa, for example, the yields are very, very low, tenfold lower than in the United States. And there's methods that farmers can use there with new techniques that could help them have a more sustainable food supply and have local food security. And part of that is using improved seed. And then there's many places in the developed world where there are possibly overuse of certain insecticides, and there's alternatives there in terms of integrated management strategies. So what we try to stress in the book is that every farming system has to be looked at on its own, and that when we discuss sustainable agriculture, it's really a case-by-case basis. So I think my husband and I are technology agnostic. So my husband has a chapter in the book where he talks about his Swiss Army knife and how important that technology is to him in his everyday life, both on the farm and at home. And so, in our minds, technology is, just like any tool. If it can advance the goals of sustainable agriculture, then let's use it. And if not, then it's not as useful. So we really in the book talk about it's important to use the most appropriate technology for the situation. So, and an appropriate technology for one crop may not be for another crop. And so an appropriate technology must be easy for a farmer to use. It has to be fairly cheap. It has to be effective. And so we evaluate technologies from that point of view. Water, land, and oil. I think the water is a huge issue. And these water systems continue to be stressed. So it's very important to keep our agriculture very productive. So agriculture takes 70% of the world's fresh water. So any way that we can use our water more efficiently is going to be incredibly important. The other issue is land. Most of our arable land has already farmed. So what that means is we have to produce more food on less land with less water. And then finally, energy. So energy is a big part of agricultural systems. I think agriculture takes about 30%, consumes 30% of our energy in the United States. So it's increasingly important to have efficient farming practices that use less of that energy.